Every day, hundreds of thousands of patrolmen report for duty. Armed with a badge and the latest in video technology, you are about to witness their never-before-seen footage. Their stories, caught on tape.
How much have you had to drink tonight? A little bit.
Tonight on Disorderly Conduct, officers can't outrun this van. A car can't outrun this truck. This cashier has nowhere to run. And this officer has nowhere to hide. And what would you do if a naked guy suddenly jumped on the hood of your car? It's time to get on board for Disorderly Conduct. It's a police pursuit in Dallas, Texas. Officers originally stopped the juvenile driver for a traffic violation. But when they discover the car is stolen, the driver and his two passengers take off. The teenager hits 70 miles an hour through this residential area. When he refuses to stop for a red light, he pays the price. You can hear the officers react when the car is broadsided by an 18-wheeler. Officers immediately call for paramedics and prepare for the worst. That's when one officer decides to give the car's occupants a piece of his mind.
Everybody stand your daddy, yeah. Man, why'd you do that? You should tell me stop.
But they're amazed to discover that everyone survives the horrendous crash. The teenagers are in big trouble, but that pales in comparison to what might have been. This is a dangerous situation. This car's got a blown back tire after skidding into a wall. It's blocking the Ohio Turnpike in Fire County, and the driving rain is starting to turn into sleet and snow. By the end of this day, troopers will handle 45 crashes. They seem to get the vehicle out of harm's way, onto the hard shoulder where a flatbed tow truck's going to move it off the freeway. A police car is helping to protect tow truck driver Harold Berger, and the dash cam catches everything. He works on securing the cable on the driver's side. He's dangerously close to speeding traffic in these appalling conditions. This hardy soul has to get the car secured before he can haul it onto the flatbed. But no one sees this coming. The SUV smashes into the disabled car, right at the spot where Harold was working just moments earlier. He was on the other side of the car when this horrifying accident happened. And if you look closely, you can see him being hurled over the guardrail. That's Harold, apparently unharmed. The cops now running to the wrecked SUV to check on the female driver. Despite the horrifying impact of this crash, Harold and the driver of the SUV suffer only minor injuries. But this cop, and especially this tow truck driver, know that surviving a terrifying crash like this can be measured in just inches and seconds. Police are tailing this van through the South Carolina night. A 17-year-old boy is at the wheel, and a computer check indicates the van is stolen. When the cop flips on his lights, it looks like the teen will pull over. But instead, he pulls out. Speeds quickly hit 80 miles an hour. As other officers join the chase, here's the view from 3 different dash-mounted cameras. The teen isn't thinking clearly, and sure enough, he makes a key mistake. When he hangs a right onto this road, he no doubt misses this sign. Now the kid is cornered. The van rams a squad car into an officer and takes dead aim at another. Here's the view from the car that takes the first hit. Every cop who's still standing opens fire. Amazingly, the bullets miss the boy, and he's quickly arrested. But what about the cops he tried to kill? Fortunately, the officer who took the direct hit escapes with just a broken leg. The officer who was pinned against her car is shaken, but not injured. As for the suspect, he's actually very lucky. He'll lose his freedom for a long time, but he just as easily could have lost his life. Coming up, desperate attempts to stop an armed robbery suspect. And a cashier fights for his life. All that and much more electrifying action on Disorderly Conduct. The driver of this car is wanted for attempted armed robbery in Minden, Louisiana. He's believed to have put a gun to a woman's head and demanded money or drugs. Now he's on the run. Police want to perform the precision immobilization technique, the pit maneuver, but they can't get close enough. The driver spots a cop car in the junction, and he's determined not to stop. He cuts across the grass and back onto the road as others join the pursuit. The door opens, but then he's off again down the wrong side of the road. The officers finally see their chance to use the pit. But despite everything, he takes off and hits speeds of more than 100 miles an hour in the rain. Amazingly, it's nearly 20 minutes before the officers catch him again. This time, the pit maneuver works perfectly. He's got no chance of escape. Before the final stop, officers believe he threw away the gun, which may have been used in the armed robbery. But they have plenty of other evidence in this car, including marijuana and an open beer can. He faces a number of serious charges, including attempted armed robbery, 3 counts of battery on a police officer, and 3 counts of hit and run. It's a quiet day at the Denmark video store in St. Paul, Minnesota. But watch the hooded customer. He cases the joint and then disappears into the video booth while the cashier waits on another customer. He exits the booth and quickly leaves the store. 1 minute later, he's back into the booth. And out the back through a curtain armed with an extension cord. He attacks the cashier from behind, jerks the cord tight around his neck, and pulls him off his chair. But the cashier's not giving up without a fight. The brawl takes a turn for the worse for the attacker. Those flashes are from a stun baton that the cashier grabs from under the counter, and now he zaps his attacker. He recovers, and for a moment seems to get the upper hand. But the cashier's got his baton again. The suspect is battered, bruised, and shocked, and tries to escape over the counter. That gives the cashier a better target for the stun baton. The cashier holds his pant leg as he continues to shock him. The attacker loses his shoe, and a syringe falls out of his pocket. But he still tries to run. You can hear the zaps as he begs for mercy. The suspect did make one big mistake when he first walked into the store. He handed over his ID to the man he intended to rob. A trooper spots a driver weaving across the lanes in Stark, Florida. The officer turns on his emergency lights, but the man behind the wheel ignores him. In fact, his driving becomes even more erratic. He swerves off the pavement. And after he turns down a dirt road, he appears to lose control. Now back on the blacktop, he picks up speed and the situation becomes even more dangerous. The driver starts to zigzag again, but this time another car is in his path. He slams into the car and almost flips over. The other driver is shocked but uninjured. As for the suspect, he slows down but still refuses to stop. He continues to be all over the road, and once again he hits the ditch. At one point, he looks like he's going to end this madness. But then he takes off yet again. As a light rain falls, the driver travels from ditch to ditch. Finally, he careens into one ditch too many. The man can be seen at the wheel as the officer approaches. Then, just as it appears he's going to give up, he pops it into gear. But the wheel is only spinning. And he's not going anywhere. The driver knows when he's beat and climbs out of the car. He is quickly arrested and charged with attempting to elude and felony reckless driving. Next.
Give me that right there!
Suspects mug for the camera as they lead a legion of cops through the streets of LA. And one cop's close brush with death. Jump into the action with more disorderly conduct. Downtown Los Angeles, officers are in pursuit of 3 carjacking suspects along crowded city streets. The passenger in the front seat proudly mugs for the camera as the car leads a legion of law officers. The driver even hangs his arms out the window. But before long, the trio runs out of both gas and luck. When the car comes to a stop, the suspects are out of options. With literally dozens of guns aimed their way, the young men are forced to surrender. Standard procedure is hands in the air, back to police. And lastly, flat on the ground. Next, Officers confirm there isn't another passenger hiding in the trunk. Finally, the all-clear sign goes out and the suspects are transported to jail. It's a standard speeding stop in South Carolina. This is something this trooper's done many times before without any problems. That is, until tonight. A speeding car crosses the line and takes dead aim at the trooper. Instinctively, he makes the only move he can, saving not only his legs, but probably his life. The trooper even has the presence of mind to return the lady's driver's license. Then he takes off in hot pursuit of the driver who could have killed him. Minutes later, the motorist is stopped a few blocks away. He's booked for drunk driving and leaves behind a very vivid reminder of why a law enforcement officer can never afford to let his guard down. A man fills up the family sedan at this Canton, Ohio service station. Inside the car are his wife and their 2 little daughters. Suddenly, a young woman crashes her car into the gas pump. Then a gasoline-fueled fire erupts. You can see the driver run from the scene. Meanwhile, the man still holds the pump's handle as he circles the car. The man then drops the handle and gets his family out of the vehicle. Seconds later, flames engulf the vehicle. It turns out the 22-year-old woman who was driving the other car lost control when her vehicle lost power. To compound the situation, she decides to flee and is later arrested for leaving the scene of an accident. As for the man and his family, they escape unharmed. A small army of officers pursue an SUV in Bell Gardens, California. Inside the vehicle is a suspected drunk driver, his girlfriend, and 2 small children. Police aren't sure if the passengers are kidnapped victims, but they do know this is one dangerous driver. He travels on the wrong side of the street and recklessly cuts between cars. Then he pulls to a stop, and his girlfriend hands a 10-month-old infant out the window to people on the street. Moments later, the driver jumps out and tries to carjack another vehicle. The door is locked, so he returns to his SUV. Then, he jumps out again and goes for another car. When the driver refuses to cooperate, the man returns to the first car and tries to break in. His girlfriend gets out holding another child. She doesn't try to escape as the suspect continues his rampage. When he spots an officer, he uses the woman and child as a shield. As the officers close in, they have no idea if the man is hiding a weapon in his pocket. The man holds the woman around the neck as he moves back across the street. Suddenly, one officer decides this is the time to make a move. Both the driver and the girlfriend are taken into custody, and the drama comes to a safe end. The children are later taken into protective custody, and their mother is booked for child endangerment. But the man will pay a much higher price. It turns out he's an attempted murder suspect. When the judge factors in that crime, as well as new charges from this chase, he's sentenced to life in prison. Coming up, one cop gets a close-up eyeful. And it's a bumper car bonanza in this chase. There's more fender-bending excitement coming up on Disorderly Conduct. police chopper tracks a truck at 100 miles an hour.
And he's going by you right now.
He barely misses other vehicles as he roars across California's San Diego County.
Let's make sure we get a canine going here. This guy sounds violent, so I'll let them take it.
The police chopper informs everyone on the ground as the truck makes contact.
Okay, he just did at least 2 accidents.
The impact blows out one tire. That slows him a little.
He did have a flat tire. It's not slowing him down too much yet.
But now he's back up to speed again.
He's going about 80 miles an hour with a top tire and the center divider. Nobody's really close behind him, but we got the guy.
Then events take a dangerous turn.
Traffic is backing up at 805 here. He's going to have to hit the shoulder, so heads up. Okay, but he just crashed into a parked van and is stuck in the emergency lane. It's going to be a hot stop just west of 805.
But the suspect does not give up.
Well, he's backing up. He's going to try to keep going, guys. You can fit this guy. There you go. They got him. They're fitting this guy in.
When the suspect refuses to get out of the vehicle, police bring in their canine officer, Mac. And he quickly subdues the suspect. One dangerous chase brought to a safe conclusion.
He's going about 80 miles an hour with a top tire.
Thanks to a skilled police chopper crew, a parked van, and a canine cop. Police officers are used to one-on-one confrontations. But how can you prepare for this? A naked man jumps on the hood of a patrol car. And now the officer's face to face with this character. The stunned police officer suspects that the man is on PCP and decides to keep his distance. The officer is understandably cautious. All he knows is that the suspect has crashed his white pickup and wanders down the road without clothes or common sense. The officer wisely waits for backup as the man continues down the road. At least it's a safe bet the suspect isn't armed. Moments later, a couple of his relatives pull up with a pair of his pants. At first, he declines the offer. But then, to the relief of everyone, he covers up. But clothed or not, this man is still dangerous. Once again, the suspect approaches the squad car. But soon he backs off. As backup officers arrive, the strip show is finally shut down. The man is taken in for a mental evaluation. In Beaver County, Utah, police are involved in a high-speed freeway chase clocked at up to 110 miles an hour. This state trooper has put out a spike strip in hopes of slowing the suspect down. Moments later, the officer has joined the chase with the suspect running on only one good tire. The officers plan to use the canine unit once they have the driver stopped.
Try to get the driver with the dog.
The suspect exits the freeway, where he's intercepted by Sheriff Sergeant Cody Black, and a desperate duel of men and machines begins.
Take him out, Cody. Take him out. Take him out. Push him out.
The trooper in the backup car moves in to assist.
I got him 115.
With each attempted pit maneuver, the suspect barely manages to stay on the road. Finally, the trooper manages to turn him around. So far, it's been like bumper cars.
The subject is smiling at me.
But the law isn't joking around. He's off again. The trooper chases and gives it one more shot. The suspect is finally boxed in. The officers draw guns and break the passenger window.
Put your hands up, do it now!
With at least 3 guns aimed point blank at his head, the suspect floors the gas pedal.
Look out, guys, look out, look out, look out, look out!
But goes nowhere. Moments later, police get the driver's door open.
Get out of the car! Open the door, we got him taken! He's dead! Pull up! Pull up! Get over there!
Off camera, the officers subdue the suspect with a stun gun as a canine unit keeps him at bay. For his part in this wild ride, the suspect was charged with 2 counts of aggravated attempted murder for trying to run over police officers, ramming patrol cars, and evading arrest.
Peter, this subject is smiling at me.
Next, a female cop's terrifying life-or-death gunfight, and one man's desperate attempts to escape the law. More high-speed disorderly conduct next. Whittier, California. A car races through this LA suburb at speeds close to 100 miles an hour. What began as an attempted stop for reckless driving has turned into a freeway chase. He's looking at the much more serious charge of felony pursuit. The driver flies past car after car until he comes to this vehicle. He loses control and slams into the wall. Then the disabled car crosses the freeway and rolls to a stop. Highway patrol officers have to assume the driver is injured after an impact of that magnitude. But they also have to assume that anyone who would drive like that could be armed and dangerous. They now can see that there are actually 2 men in the vehicle. Finally, a door pops open and a passenger rolls out. Then, moments later, the driver exits the vehicle. As the uninjured driver walks back towards officers, his passenger stays on the ground, suffering from lacerations to the face and leg. Both men are arrested and taken into custody. Maybe someday they'll realize that they owe their lives to 3 things: an airbag, their seatbelts, and pure luck.
Yes, we're just been robbed.
Okay.
Bank of America.
All right, I need a
Franklin Road.
Okay, I need a description, okay?
Officers respond to a bank robbery in Brentwood, Tennessee.
Tall, white male, mustache, real slim.
Witnesses say the male thief is armed with an assault rifle and is headed east.
What was he armed with?
An automatic machine gun look like.
Stephanie Bellis is one of the first police officers to arrive on the scene.
I was flagged down by an individual who said that the bad guy had gone that way, and he pointed north. He gave me a vehicle description, but it did not match what the bad guy was actually in.
17-7, I'm en route northbound Franklin Road, Concord Road.
17-4.
As Officer Bellis approaches an intersection, she passes a gray car to her right. She has no idea that the bank robber is in that car. Without warning, the suspect shoots through the side of her squad car. The young officer is struck in the arm.
I dove out of my car, and I immediately jumped in front of my patrol car to gain cover.
She fires back at the suspect, who is behind her car, using it as a shield.
He continued to walk with my car as I walked backwards or traveled backwards.
Another view of this scene is captured by a second squad car's camera. But this drama isn't over yet.
He eventually heard more sirens. He turned his attention away from me.
The suspect is able to get up and shoot at yet another officer when he arrives on the scene. Meanwhile, Officer Bellis continues to avoid further injury by using her car as a shield.
My car was slowly driving forward because it was still in drive.
23 to headquarters, give me there, let's up here right now. We got an officer down.
Today, Officer Bellis says she owes her life to her metal clipboard.
This was the clipboard that was actually sitting beside me in my seat, just like this. The bullet went through this clipboard and eventually into my arm. This thick paperwork that everybody hates to carry around helped me tremendously that day. And this could have been me.
Both Officer Bellis and her fellow patrolmen fully recover from their wounds. As for the suspect, he is shot and killed at the scene. Officer Bellis has since retired from the force, but that day is forever etched in her memory.
I'm very thankful for the second chance in life.
This is one frustrated cashier's answer to being robbed 4 times in a month. He fights back. The robber pulls a knife on a gas station cashier, Kuldip Singh, in Allentown, Pennsylvania, and Singh goes after him. To add insult to injury, cops are waiting for the suspect when he arrives home covered in blood. After a trip to the hospital, he faces armed robbery charges. These Florida cops are on the lookout for a dangerous driver who's already tried to run down one of their colleagues. This officer just got word that the wanted driver is headed his way in a Chevy Lumina. There he is. The felon spots the cop and throws his car across the grass median, skidding onto the other side of the freeway. That patrolman's right on his tail, and he's preparing to take him out. That was a textbook pit maneuver. The cop expertly spun the car off the road. But this guy's not giving up that easily. They try to block him in, and he's got a loaded gun pointed right at him, but he's not giving up. This chase finally ends after another successful pit forces the battered Chevy into the curb. Now the Chevy's driver is facing multiple charges, including aggravated battery of an officer and felony fleeing. Up next on Disorderly Conduct, one of the longest police pursuits ever caught on tape. And a drunk driving suspect makes a scary confession.
You got a what?
It's all coming up on Disorderly Conduct. Council Bluffs, Iowa. Police spot the driver of this van changing lanes in an unsafe manner. An officer turns on his flashing lights, but the man refuses to pull over. It quickly turns into a pursuit. The chase continues on both sides of the road. The driver takes each turn faster and faster.
He's almost lost it a couple times.
Before long, the driver tempts fate once too often.
He's 1050.
1050 is police jargon for vehicle crash, and that's putting it mildly. The van misses the turn and completely flips over. Officers run to the car in search of the driver.
He's right here. He's unconscious. Tell him he's unconscious.
The man is critically injured, but he survives. He's later charged with drunk driving and illegal possession of a loaded gun.
I'm cuffing him up here.
They might have got him. I think they got him.
The stolen pickup has already blown its left rear tire on a spike strip.
His left rear's flat. Left rear's flat. He's going to get blocked in here. Yeah, he's going to probably...
The green truck drives across the grassy median.
Whoa.
Now the suspect speeds the wrong way down the freeway.
Northbound and southbound.
By the end of this chase, the felon leads a convoy of patrol cars more than 90 miles across Ohio.
Okay, coming back across. Right exit. Stuff in the grass right now. Coming out. Going through the ditch. Okay. He's back on the road.
Somehow he keeps that wrecked truck on the road. As he exits the freeway, his tire completely shreds. He forces his way through traffic, hits that truck, and barely keeps control of his vehicle.
Okay, we're going southbound now. Southbound.
It's 10 in the morning, and he's headed toward a busy part of town at 70 miles an hour on three wheels.
No traffic for half a mile.
Officers want to pit the vehicle, but hold back.
Okay, now clear path again. That left rear tire's completely gone. It won't last long.
Instead, the officers decide to go another route.
Just let go when that tire comes off. There's no sense in getting the car wrecked.
He accelerates past a second spike strip.
Just let him have it. Just getting Stockport town.
As the suspect approaches Bowling Green, Ohio, the officers decide this chase has gone on long enough.
Back off. They're going to ram him. Back off. Get the cars out of the way now.
When an officer attempts the pit maneuver, he nearly runs over a third spike strip.
Okay, they're ramming him.
It's a violent collision. The Bowling Green police officer takes him out hard. In the final tally, the truck and the three patrol cars are wrecked. No one is injured. The suspect faces charges of felony fleeing and several counts of felonious assault on a police officer. The 90-mile chase goes down as one of Ohio's longest pursuits ever. Police officers pull over a suspected drunk driver in West Melbourne, Florida.
Hey, guy. What do I do? You're doing a little bit of weaving. Hey, come out here for me.
The driver doesn't hide the fact that he's not in the best shape to drive.
How much have you had to drink tonight? A little bit. A little bit? What's a little bit? Oh, I'm ready to go home and go to bed. Okay. I'm going to need you to take a few tests for me before we do that. I need to make sure you're okay to drive. Okay? Oh, you can't drive. Okay, well, you're the one that's driving, so you're the one I got to check.
The officer wants to have the driver perform some tests to see if he's drunk.
Why don't you step right up here and face the car.
But first, the man has a request.
All right, turn the lights off. You want me to turn the lights off? Yeah, I'm blinking lights.
The tests begin.
Want you to lift the foot of your choice about 6 inches off the ground, just like mine is. Up, and I'll count from 1 to 30. And I want you to hold your foot up the whole time I'm counting, okay? You understand? You understand? Yeah, I understand.
But they don't go well.
1. Oh God. Okay, try it again. We only made it to 1. I know. Well, let's try it again. You ready? 1.
Even the driver knows he's in trouble.
No, I'm going. Well, give me the DUI right now.
Give you a DUI right now? I need to do one more test on you.
I just want to go home.
Then the driver makes an admission no officer wants to hear.
For me. Hold on, I didn't tell you to do anything.
I got a fart.
You got a what?
Fart.
Okay,
The officer wisely lets the man do his business.
okay, go ahead and do it.
I am.
Okay.
Go home.
Okay. Put your left foot on the line.
Despite the distraction,
In front of your left.
the tests continue.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay, come here.
Yeah, I go.
Yeah, you did.
The driver is taken into custody for driving under the influence.
Stop, ain't I?
You're locked up. You're being arrested for DUI.
But before the suspect is placed in the back of the squad car, the officer has a request of his own.
Okay. No farting.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.